Hello, everyone. We're back. So yeah, someone asked in the chat if they could have more than one attempt. I think you can only have one attempt, but if you want to change your answer, you can put a second or a third or whatever one in. But the latest one you put in is the one that counts. But given that we clarified on that, you can take a couple of minutes to put some more in, as John desperately compiles them in our Discord for us to check through, and it'll just be literally like the four of us. Sam, if he makes it on in time, will nominate our favorite, and then if there's a majority one, that one will get it, and if not, then we'll just random it. We'll just roll a die, and one of the nominated ones will get that, and that's it, really.
I'm enjoying a lot of the ones I've seen so far.
Good. I have seen a couple of good ones myself as well. So yeah, MÖRK BORG, The Condemned. Hope everyone's enjoying it. In the meantime, while you get your final answers in, or your final suggestions, whatever, your final entries in, why not, if you're interested, check out our YouTube, because we've got so many actual plays. We've got a previous MÖRK BORG one. We've got lots of ongoing series. We've got a bunch of other one-shots. At the moment, we're streaming 3 things weekly. Warhammer is on Mondays, Into the Odd on Wednesdays, and Thursdays is Cincinnati Chronicles, which is kind of my magnum opus. It's an anthology series of old World of Darkness, 5 stories told in one city on one day. Kind of crossover meta plot garbage. It's amazing. I love it. And we're currently playing through the Wraith of the Oblivion arc of that. So there we go. We're hoping to wrap up this stream in the next kind of hour and a half, so not least because I've got a food delivery somewhere within that time, possibly, but we'll see. We still have the whole ending bit to go, and I'll be damned if I'm shortening it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, I think that's probably long enough for anyone to have put theirs in. So John, taking everyone's last entries as their gospel, please. So make sure you haven't got any like doubled up entries in there. Is that in Discord?
I'm going to put it in our secret backstage Discord.
Oh, our private chat. Oh, okay, because you said yeah. If it works in there, that's cool. So these are being listed for us without the people who've actually posted them. So if there was any concern whatsoever about favoritism, I have no idea who these are from. And we don't know who you are anyway. We don't care.
Wait, where are we?
I don't think John's put them in yet. Private back. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant on the in the private chat. No, in the back Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 5 entries here in total. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I counted.
Okay.
Wait, where?
In the
Discord in our one shot chat.
Mm-hmm.
In the one shot area. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And your entries don't count, Pierre. Sorry.
Are you telling me that MÖRK BORG wasn't going to sweep them?
That's one of the expansions.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but it made me hog wild. There are some good ones here.
Oh wait, my last one was a swarm of regular bees. Again, I don't think probably wasn't going to be a winning entry.
I don't know about you guys, but based on the criteria here is it has to sound good as a MÖRK BORG story title and also as a doom metal album. And I'm just saying here that for me and my pick personally, don't let it influence any of you 3. But my pick personally is Unrighteous Eyes of Dead Angels, because I swear to God that's a My Dying Bride album. So that's my pick. That's the one I'm picking. It's overwrought enough that the old goth in me loves it. So yeah. Steve, how about you? You got a pick?
Oh, this is tough.
Anyone else got a pick? It doesn't have to be in this order. Whoever.
The problem is there's one I love, but I'm not sure how doom metal-y is.
But stick to the criteria, Pierre.
Yeah.
Sound good. It's not just which one made you laugh the most.
I know.
Stick to the rules. The rules.
The rules.
When has Pierre ever stuck to the rules?
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the swollen psalm of the condemned. I
Fair
think.
enough. Slipping in a little. See, I see where they were going there. Slipping in a little reference to our title, just to placate my ego. Was that it? Was that the attempt? It is a good name, though. It is a good name. John,
I think I'm torn. I'm torn.
Steve.
I mean, that,
Can I reveal?
I was torn between. Oh, go on, Pierre. Go on. You're going to say
No. I was just going to say
Okay.
the one I was like, if it wasn't.
If it was a different competition entirely.
Yes. But,
Yes.
I mean, for me, I was kind of split between Hopeless Howls of the Heretics and Unrighteous Eyes of Dead Angels. I think the Angels might take it for me. I did like that.
Okay, so that's 2 for the Angels there. So unless John's going for the Swollen Psalm one.
Those are the 2 I was torn between.
Oh my god. Well, it's up to you then. Well, if that's the case, shall we just, if you put in Swollen Psalm, shall we just roll a die for it between the 2 of them?
Hang on. No. Unless you want the
It's
tension
either
of
that or you're
rolling
the
the dice.
Kingmaker. It's either that or you're the Kingmaker. And you just say, no, go for the Angels. It's all in John. It's John's fault now.
Oh, no.
all of the responsibility is on him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the Angels because I
Okay.
do like that My Dying Bride album.
Okay, you do like that. All right, so
Okay.
can you reveal, please, John, who Unrighteous Eyes of the Dead Angels is?
As soon as I re-find it, yes.
Oh man, my favorite one though was battling in the
I
bonded
know
burial
it
grounds.
was. I
It was
know
just
it was.
so good.
I know it was.
I couldn't go for it, but it was so good.
So, Scotty
They're all
the
great.
Dungeon Master, well done. Well done. This is yours. This is yours. Not in a practical, real way right now, but figuratively speaking, this is yours. If you get into contact with us by whatever means you particularly want, like if you follow us on Twitter and then send us a message, or if you join the Discord and send me a DM, or just say, hi, I'm Scotty the Dungeon Master, and I'll get in touch with you. Or if none of those are possible for you, write it in chat that they're not, and we'll make some other kind of arrangement.
I mean, we should be able to receive whispers via Twitch as well, like DMs via Twitch. Maybe
I've got no idea how Twitch works. Like, look at me. I'm older than 20. So there we go. Yeah. But,
Also, sorry.
Yep. No, go
I was
on.
going to say, can I also give a shout out to this was usurped by a later entry by the same person, but I think
Sure.
Pierre will appreciate this one.
I mean, I am a sucker for alliteration. It's yeah.
I also
and the
like this from
rats.
John. A
A
eulogy for
eulogy.
Scrunt. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Scotty, get in touch with us via whatever means you want, and write in chat before the end of the stream if you can't, and how you would like to get in contact with us, and we'll sort something out. We will sort something out. Yeah. So there we go. I don't think we've got Sam back yet, right? By the look of it.
No, not yet.
So I guess we're vamping here a little while before he arrives.
We've had do you want me to throw up a few things from chat?
Yeah. Go for it. Let's do some old chats before Sam returns. Oh, and before you do that, actually, I will also acknowledge that we've had a number of follows this week, quite a lot, probably because we've done a giveaway.
They just love the
So-
Morkborg.
Sorry,
They just love the Morkborg. The Merc.
we just love the MÖRK BORG. So thank you for the follows to Scotty the Dungeon Master, Crowbird, I Am Cozza, Sloppy Poet 96, Replicant Tones, The Foo, Chain Earl, Louis Castillo, and Sashimi. Thank you so much for your follows. Yes, John, throw some stuff on screen for us. Let's engage like streamers. The cat meows disturbing prophecies. It does, Steve. It does. Every
Awesome.
fucking day and night.
Aw.
I will be fed soon,
It is
or
a
the end
prophecy
times
that-
will come.
It is a prophecy that has often come to pass. Chainmail, pretty cool so far. Loving the use of all the random tables. Thank you. I mentioned during the backstage during the break that I do feel I'm pretty good at running Mort Borg, and I worry about what that says about me.
Just says you
So
love.
there we go. But
You
yeah, glad you're
love
enjoying.
old school roleplay.
Yes, it's my OSR heart beats strong. That's why I love Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah.
Next. Don't kick food. Schrodinger's rats. Yes.
No, those rats are definitely dead, as opposed to
Schrodinger's rat bag.
I suppose if I reached in and picked out a random rat, then yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that could then.
Hard to say whether it's alive or dead.
Absolutely.
This is a two-parter.
Delariste, that was an expensive rat. The one the betting, but a friend is worth all the silver. Absolutely.
These friends, though.
I mean,
the rat friend, I think.
Oh, the rat friend.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We've got a Sam. Look at that. We can carry on playing Mort Borg. Hey, Sam, you missed the giveaway. You'll be sad to know, but you'll be delighted. You did not, partly because you did not enter, but also because, and maybe more importantly, because as a crew member, you are forbidden from doing so. Yeah, but you'll be delighted to know that Scotty, the Dungeon Master, won with Unrighteous Eyes of Dead Angels. So there we go.
It's pretty good.
I should probably add in as well, Scotty, if you let us know in the chat how you're intending to get in contact with us, that would be helpful. That is definitely a dog drinking water.
Thankfully, rather than
Apologies. He has now finished drinking water.
That's fine. Cool. All right. So you leave the Grey Galt Inn and start traveling to the east. As you pass further into the kind of not into the wilderness, I suppose, but away from the main road, more of those thriving but skeletal trees surround you, and then you crest a rise in the pathway, and visible ahead in a valley amongst those trees is an old manor house, the roof visibly partly collapsed. The pathway seems to come to an end at this manor house.
Does there seem to be any action in the windows or any movement at all?
You're way too far away to be able to tell that.
Okay.
Any signs of any carriages parked up or?
The pathway twists and turns ahead of you. You definitely have to get closer to this manor house to make sure. But unless you have any other particular plans, I'm happy for you to just proceed and do just that.
Yeah, I guess proceed until we see any evidence of other people here.
Absolutely. Well, as you approach, you'd estimate once you saw it from the rise, you're maybe about 3/4 of the way to the manor house. It must be just around a couple of turns in the forest ahead of you. You can see off amongst the trees several horses grazing nearby. They are not together and they have not been tied up.
I will. I'm going to approach one of the horses.
Sure. Can you give me a presence roll at difficulty 16, please? How's your horse charm?
Natural 20, so 23.
The horse stops grazing and wanders up to you as you approach it.
You are a good. Oh, you're a good horse. I like you. I like. Does it have any kind of saddle on it, or is it?
Yeah.
Like,
it's fully saddled
and does it look kind of fancy?
It's not fancy. It's functional.
Okay. Oh man, should I just steal this horse? Probably not. We probably want to go to the manor. Okay, I'll.
You could tie it loosely to a tree, and then it'll maybe still be here when you get back.
That is not a bad idea. Yeah, although I don't have any rope. I don't think
you can use it's kind of bridle is dangling in the.
Okay, yeah, I'll tie it to a nearby tree.
Sure.
While the horse thing's going on, do we see any evidence of stuff in the manor house then? I suppose now we're close enough.
Literally just said that the manor house is obscured ahead of you in a couple of turns of the pathway.
I see.
So no, you cannot see anything in the manor house.
My apologies. I guess I'll be continuing on the pathway.
You just all carry on forward while Torval's doing his horse thing.
Basically, yeah.
Yep. As you move forward, you can now see the manor house ahead of you. It's still a ways up the pathway, but you can kind of see it. You can definitely now close enough to see like lights are not on. It does not seem occupied. As I said, the roof is partly collapsed. What you do see, however, is an abandoned coach resting askew against a nearby tree.
So looks like she came here then. Same coach. I'll go have a look at the coach.
It has the arms of Golgenbeck Guard on it.
Is there anything inside? Does it look like it was like crashed or anything, or they just left it there?
Sure. There is. You open it up, open the door. There is no one inside, but there are scattered on the floor of the coach are scraps of mail and bloodied cloth and a large pouch.
Pouch. Have a look at the pouch.
The pouch contains quite a bit of silver, which is covered in some kind of greasy grime.
Toss some to Torval.
I won't immediately touch the grime, but I will pick up the pouch, assuming that seems safe enough.
Yeah. And just tuck it away somewhere.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Sure. Absolutely.
Grime-covered pouch of silver.
Yeah, that seems to be it for the coach, though.
Oh, as I'm coming out the coach, I'll turn around and say, looks like a fight. They were attacked or something. No one here, though.
Do you reckon she's good enough to have defeated them and got away?
She would have left on her horses, right? So I think, is there any footprints or any sign of a direction of struggle?
No, there's nothing like that.
Okay.
I mean, the ground is like messed up, like blackened soil. It's very difficult to find any kind of tracking on it, unless you're suggesting that Torval is going to try suddenly become kind of Aragorn.
Torval is Aragorn.
Sure.
With his dog.
Get kicking that helm and breaking your foot.
And there's no like blood.
There was some blood-soaked bits of cloth within the
carriage.
I know it's been a while.
There was a fight.
Yeah.
But there's like outside the carriage, there's just nothing.
No, there's no kind of big splashes of blood anywhere.
Should we
There
go
were
in the
quite a
house
few
then?
guards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's head onwards.
Sure. You find yourself closer to the front of this manor house. You can see how decayed and wrecked it is now. Sort of windows smashed or boarded up, door hanging off its hinges. Obviously, this seemed to have happened quite a while ago. You can also detect on the kind of edges of your hearing an almost constant keening scream heard somewhere within and pausing only briefly every now and then, perhaps for breath.
Is it? Does the voice sound like it's coming from a person?
Yeah, sure.
And is it like a woman or a man?
You absolutely can't tell anything like that. It's too distant. And also, it's just such a primal, piercing noise. It's very difficult to tell any kind of nuance to it.
You know, one of these days it would be nice to go in somewhere like this and have a lovely welcoming sound, wouldn't it?
That's not really the stuff we go in for.
Yeah, who do you think you are, Harmug?
Maybe I've been living it easy for a bit longer.
Hmm.
By the way, Matt, when we were outside, did it look like this was kind of the end of the track and there was nowhere else that
Correct.
someone would have gone? Okay, cool.
Can everyone roll presence for me, please?
17.
16.
Well, with my usual presence buff, I just pass.
Okay. Harmug then is blissfully ignorant, perhaps examining the front of the manor house and looking for any further signs. But the other three of you turn as you hear like a kind of, a sort of padding noise that resolves into the sound of kind of running feet. And around the corner of the manor house, a little away from you, but not that far considering how fast it's moving towards you, emerges a humanoid form. It's now kind of maybe late afternoon, early evening, so the light isn't terribly good, but it looks, as I say, to be a humanoid form, somewhat naked, and in the dim light, you can see kind of like pinkish, reddish, purplish in hue in some way, but you see kind of stark white eyes within the face. It is making a ravening sound of hunger and starting to run towards all four of you. Well, all five of you, I suppose, including Poltroon.
I will draw my crossbow and aim it.
Sure.
Yeah, same here.
Well, let's go with... I think you've got plenty of time to prepare yourself here. So again, I'm going to kind of skew the initiative in your favor a little bit. And it is indeed in your favor now. John, can you pop up initiative, please? Yep. Oh, yeah, sorry. We'll have to roll for initiative. So roll a d6 adjusted by your agility. Pop it into chat. Harmug won't go in this first round because you were like... Oh.
Well, suitably, I got a 2 anyway.
That works then. That works.
Wait. Hang on. Which dice do you roll for
D6.
initiative?
It's a,
D6.
For initiative, it's a d6 adjusted by your agility.
Cool.
Cool. And one. So it looks like Riston goes first there. So why don't you go first, Riston? You can easily like meet it coming towards you if you want to dash forward and try and hammer it before it gets away. It doesn't look to be armed.
This time I'm going to go with my crossbow.
Oh, you've got a crossbow as well.
Yeah. I
Everyone's
bought a shiny one.
Everyone's got a crossbow.
So
there we go. John, can you bring up the image for a nod, please? Or outside of MÖRK BORG terminology, zombie. There we go. And Makart, do the thing you did with the cams before. That was lovely. There we go. I love that. Yeah, Riston, as you are aiming with your crossbow, why don't you give me... I don't think they've got any special... no, they've got no special rules for being hit or anything. So why don't you give me just a normal attack, please?
Okay.
Is Poltroon capering at this point, John?
Yes.
Okay, so add a +2 to it then.
Okay. So normal would be DR12. I get DR10 because of being Gutterborn Scum and being stealthy. And it's DR8, I guess, because of Poltroon.
Mm-hmm.
I roll a 17, so that is a hit.
Okay, so give me that damage, please.
Which would be a D8, I believe. 2.
Sure. So the crossbow bolt embeds itself into the creature's hip with a slight spatter of blood around it. You kind of take it in more fully now that you've seen it, and kind of aimed at it, looked at it enough to aim and fire with your crossbow. It appears to be a flayed man. It's leaving a trail of spatters of blood and bits of flesh on the ground behind it, but it is ravening and reaching out for you with sort of blunted, bloody fingers and snarling in an ungodly fashion. And Torval, please. Everyone's got crossbows in this group. It's terrible.
Yep.
I don't.
Hey, I had a crossbow from last session. So yeah, I aim a crossbow. I got 18. So actually 19. So yeah. And then the damage on that was 7.
Okay. Torval's bolt slams into the creature's chest, and it pitches against a wall and thrashes around wildly, kind of making an unpleasant gagging sound for a few seconds, and then drops to the ground, still and seemingly lifeless again. I guess as a group you breathe silent relief for a second, and then is the sound of another set of feet hammering down what seems to be the main corridor of the manor house, and bursting out from the front of the door that's kind of hanging off its hinges is another of these flayed undead creatures. Von, you've still got an attack this round.
Could
Yeah.
Burke go?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, let's go with Burke.
Can Burke charge the guy who's just come out of the
Absolutely.
door?
Give a roll for it.
Cool. Boom. And they normally roll with DR10, so that was a hit. And they did 3 damage.
Okay. Burke leaps on the creature, very noisily and happily chewing chunks off it and swallowing them whole. It's pre-skinned for him. He's perfectly happy with this kind of thing. It's still alive, though, and kind of like thrashing to get loose from his jaws. Von.
I will take a swing at it. That is a hit and 9 damage.
As the nod is kind of thrashing around, trying to detach its arm from the hound's jaws, it stumbles forward into an easy swing from your Zweihander, and you clip its head from its shoulders, and it rolls into the kind of pine needles and muck on the ground and away. It gnashes its teeth for a few seconds and then goes still. Burke is happily munching away. That's the end of the combat. We can end.
Good job, guys. Well done.
That was it. That's easy. I go and pet Burke some more. Good boy.
Now the door's been opened. Shall we have a look inside?
Wait, was this the place where the cult came from?
They said that was to the west.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the chicken in the cage.
There's a chicken.
all right.
In a cage, though.
Let's peek inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you taking a look inside, or are you just strolling on in?
I'd want to at least kind of, look through the windows a bit first, get the lie of the land.
Sure.
See whether it's dangerous enough to send Torval in.
Sure. Half the windows are boarded up and the others are shattered. Looking through the shattered windows, you just see kind of like what look like dark, empty rooms with like some rubble and bits of broken furniture in them. You don't see anything kind of immediately apparent.
And we can still hear the keening wail
Mhm.
from.
Yeah, assume that noise is happening until I tell you where it's coming from.
Nice. Yeah, I'll edge in carefully, trying to get a bearing on that and watching for movement in the shadows.
Sure. Well, ahead of you is a long, dank, rotted entrance corridor with tapestries, lots of them, light-coloured tapestries, fluttering in the night wind on each side of the walls. Ahead of you, you see kind of a number. I'm not going to kind of plan this out like a dungeon, but you see a number of doorways leading off other hallways. Like it looks like quite a complex, fancy layout for what was at one point a rather indulgent manor house of some kind. As your eyes kind of adjust to the further darkness inside this corridor, you see that those light-coloured tapestries, well, one of them near you has a tattoo. The entire corridor is lined in fluttering human skin. Some of it looks quite old and tattered. Others, relatively fresh. There is, in fact, one further down that's still dripping a small amount of blood that's puddling on the floor.
Well, that's newer than this house, isn't it? This ruined place, anyway.
I grip the javelin and sort of tightly kind of hoist it onto my shoulder, kind of. Yeah.
Do the fresh ones have any tattoos that might be commonly found, say, on a Golgenbeck guard?
No, I don't think the
Okay.
Golgenbeck. I get what you mean. Maybe there's like
Yeah.
a guard logo or something like that. No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Where, like, what is obvious from here? Is it are there stairs up or down or something?
As I say, I'm not going to plan out like a dungeon. Like, just tell me what you're looking for, what you're like, trying to proceed. There's definitely a stairway up. There's like entrances off both sides to hallways and doors and various things.
I'm gonna head towards the freshest looking
Sure.
thing and
Yeah.
see if there's any trails around there. And
Sure. Is anyone else doing anything in particular, or are we happy just letting Pierre do this for now and seeing where it leads us?
I think I'm happy letting Torval do what he does.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So with Torval leading and kind of Poltroon capering along at the back of the group, making some very pointed gags about interior decor. You find yourself at the obviously more fresh skin is like a corner of where like a little crossroads of corridors, and as you approach it, you do hear what sounds like sort of a heavy shuffling and strained deep breathing coming from a corridor just kind of like round the corner from where the hanging skin is.
I kind of gesture to the others about like the direction, and then I kind of hesitantly turn the corner and try and see what's there.
Well, around that corner, and it does seem like quite a long one, and a little way down it, there is a shape, a form, a somewhat hulking form, that as you kind of like peek around the corner, you see that it maybe had its back to you before, but now it kind of like slowly kind of shuffles with a kind of like and turns around to face you. It takes a moment again for your eyes to adjust. It is a mass of blood-caked fur with an odd glinting in gaps between the fur that you can see like metal is there, perhaps even more metal than flesh. In the one hand that you can kind of clearly see curled up sort of underneath it, held against it, you can see that what may have at one point been some large paw of some kind has had shards of metal kind of embedded in the fingers and even a couple in the palm until it's like a curled mass of blades. The other hand, along with the entire arm, is kind of held behind it, dragging on the floor with an unpleasant scraping sound as the blades in that hand sort of almost lifelessly drag across the wooden floor. It has noticed you, and it is coming towards you. Its actual features you can't really see, other than there's almost like a draping of that blood-soaked fur over its actual visage, but you can see a pair of like glittering eyes in the darkness peering out towards you.
I am backing the hell up as quickly as I can. Yeah, I'm trying to run away.
Sure, absolutely.
Fuck!
So Torval is as clearly alarmed and backing away from something he's seen in that corridor.
It's in there. Jesus Christ, it's fucking huge. I didn't mean to say Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ does not exist in this world.
Just to make it clear, Pierre has no problem with blasphemy. It's that specific blasphemy is,
Yeah.
If
Well,
Jesus
like,
Christ
oh,
doesn't
that's-
exist,
by the basilisks or something like that.
Basilisk,
Yeah.
exactly.
if Jesus Christ doesn't exist, then why is one of the holy symbols you can buy a crucifix? Yeah.
There's a crucifix with a basilisk on it.
Because it's metal. Because
They
it's
clearly crucified a basilisk.
because it's really metal. Also, Poltroon's Priest of Carpenter's gag went away. Look, it's fine. Maybe this world has had a Christianity analog, but it's long gone.
Everyone's forgotten
anyway,
the significance.
I raise
would-
my Zweihander and move forward.
Sure. In that case, if at least one of you is going to engage and you're not all just going to flee, can we have initiative again, please? So please roll for agility. Roll a d6 and adjust it by your agility. Yeah. I have no image for this creature. It was created via tables of my imagination. So there we go, I'm afraid. But Torval, you said you were backing off in a way. So I'm going to say you don't go this round.
Sure.
Because, and this time, I think the creature is alarming enough and close enough that it's going to be an evens on whether you go first or it goes first. It does indeed go first. So, okay. So, if we can have that initiative up, please, John. And then, good Lord, that agility is crazy, Steve. So, yeah, if we can have the initiative up, please, John. But the beast is going to go first. And, Torval's the first person it saw. Oh, well, actually, Torval and Von said he was striding forward with his. So we'll actually half and half it. It is Torval. So, Torval, could you test presence for me at difficulty 10, please?
That's a fail.
That's a fail. Okay.
Unless
As you're
the
backing...
poltroon-
Sorry?
Unless the poltroon thing.
No,
applies.
it's not attack or defense.
Yeah.
Unless... So, yeah, as you were backing away from it, you were still looking at it. Like, you were just like rummaging for your crossbow or like getting
Holding
away.
on.
And as you do so, you find yourself, you glanced at those glittering eyes under the blood-caked fur, and now you find you can't look away. You feel your muscles spasming and seizing. It's tremendously painful as your entire body feels like it's locking up. Again, you're kind of struggling to breathe, and you kind of are almost like slumped against a wall, letting out little moans and noises. I'm going to judge that your hound is more intent on worrying about you as well than engaging the creature this round. So yeah, Torval seems to be paralyzed, which is probably quite apparent to the others as well. If you're bothering with looking at him at all, you probably don't give a shit. But for what it's worth, Riston, what are you doing?
I will loose a crossbow bolt, I think. I'm gonna... Yeah, I don't think I will have noticed Torval doing this fully.
That's fine.
Because he makes all sorts of weird noises in combat.
Absolutely, he does, especially when he's talking.
Yeah.
So with Poltroon sort of scampering around behind, giving out kind of hunting cries and advice, release the hounds and stuff like that. It's definitely, somewhat inspiriting, or at least a distraction from the horrors in front of you. So that's going to be an attack at, 10?
That's including Poltroons.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's presence because it's ranged, right?
It is indeed, yes. So because of my stealth thing, DR is 8 for me. I rolled a 9, so I just hit.
Okay, and what's the damage on that, please?
Let's see if I can actually roll something greater than... No, 2. I reckon this crossbow is right. I've been sold a pup here.
And it
Features
has
an omen.
armor of D6.
Right.
Yeah. Your crossbow bolts kind of like, it doesn't like rebound off. It just kind of like wedges between those bits of blood-soaked fur and into like where I said it looks like glinting like metal underneath. It kind of wedges in between the fur and that metal and just kind of sticks there. Von.
I'm going to try and swing at it.
Mm-hmm. So obviously that's an attack at 10 again because of Poltroon.
I mean, that's a hit, but it's also 1 damage. You know,
Okay.
I'm going to. Oh, I only have one omen.
Yeah,
Sure.
spend it.
I'm going to spend my
Are
omen.
you going to save
do-
it until after the session's over, though? That's the thing of it.
That
Isn't it?
might be when I need it. Yeah, I'm going to spend my omen to do the full amount of damage.
Okay, so that would be a 10, right?
Ooh.
Well, it rolls
Nice.
3 on its armor. So you deal. Basically, you stride forward, confident as ever. After all, you are royalty, and this thing clearly is not.
Of course.
And you kind of swing out and kind of slice very cleanly across what passes for the creature's throat. Again, you can't really see that face, but it rears back with a sort of gurgle, and some form of liquid, a thick, viscous liquid, starts kind of like pouring out down the front of it and matting the fur and splattering on the ground with big, loud splashes. It's clearly rather grievously injured, but not dead yet. Harmug.
Yeah, I guess I'll give it a shoot with my crossbow.
It's a
And I
difficulty
hit.
10.
Mhm.
You hit. What's the damage?
And where is my damage dice gone? There it is. 7. It's all right.
That is all right. Your bolt slams home in the same place that Von carved a great chunk out of its throat. And the beast reaches up with those kind of like horrible implanted blades in its paw and kind of grasps and gives out a great heaving, breathy bellow, a kind of before slumping to the ground with a crash.
I like crossbows.
I don't.
I'm looking over at Torval. Is he still kind of paralyzed?
Torval, can you give me a toughness roll, please, and just tell me what the result is? It won't be adjusted by Poltroon.
While this is going on and you're writhing on the ground saying help, I'm going to
19.
give you a little kick.
19.
Well, clearly Harmug's kick does something, because maybe about 20 seconds after the beast slumps to the ground, you start to gain control over your limbs again.
You're welcome.
Thanks. What'd you do?
Secret.
He kicked you.
Thanks for that, Riston. Thanks for that Harmug.
Well, fantastic. Nobody got hurt.
Absolutely.
I feel my bruised rib.
What is it? Why is it here?
I
Yeah.
go up.
Get
It's
across a look.
dead.
Yeah.
On closer inspection, does anything jump out at me?
No.
Okay. It was at the beginning, all the way at the end of the corridor. Can I go over to where it was and see if there's anything there?
Yeah, sure. You know what? There is sort of you walk part way down the corridor, and there's a doorway that is kind of like, it looks a bit different from the others, a bit larger, a bit heftier maybe. And there is notable splashes of blood stained on the walls and the floor around it.
I kind of tap the door and go,
Gives a dull thunk, but there's no other response.
yeah. I guess maybe we should. Okay, well, who am I kidding? It's going to be me, isn't it? And I reach for the door and I try and open it.
Sure, absolutely. It does indeed open, and you kind of turn the handle, and as soon as you start to pull, the door just like almost batters you in the face and sort of pushes you back with a rush of weight out of it. Right, imagine a room, let's say 10 foot high and maybe like 12 foot by 12 foot in diameter. Imagine that room was literally full to the brim with blood. Semi-coagulated, thick, cold blood that pours out over the corridor, over Torval, rushes down the corridor towards the rest of you, washing against your boots and probably up to your knees as Torval is briefly subsumed in the mass of it as it splatters down and around. A great rush, a flood of blood. Among that, those coagulated lumps of plasm, a form writhes, a form similar to the ones you fought outside, a flayed man who scrambles up to his feet and reaches out, probably for Torval first, I would imagine at this point. Can we go into combat again, please? We're going to, so everyone roll their initiative, but they're going to go, you know what? I'm going to say they're going to go first on anything but a 6 because of the shock of this. Yeah, they're going first. So Torval, it's an attack on you first. So can you give me a defense roll, please? And I'm going to say there's definitely no capering from Poltroon yet. And I'd say that you're going to take, given what's just happened to you, put a -4 on your defense, I'd say.
So it's a DR12, right?
It starts at a DR12, yeah.
Yeah, and then my agility is +1, so that's...
So it's a DR16 for you now, essentially.
I had no hope in hell.
No hope in hell. Okay, roll your armor if you got it.
I got a 1.
1. So this thrashing flayed nod sort of rolls on top of you among the horrible sticky morass of all this blood and sort of gets 2 of its hands around your head and just starts pressing in, crunching against your nose. One of your eyes is being pushed back. You feel one of its thumbs lashing underneath your fang teeth, and you feel your tooth break as with an unnatural strength it just starts trying to crush your head. Take 3 toughness or 3 HP, please. As it's doing this, it's gibbering and screaming inarticulately and leaving great spatters of more blood and bits of flesh from its head on top of you. It's not a good time, is what I'm generally trying to convey. Torval, you get to go first, I guess, in response.
I don't know how the mechanics of this. I think because I'm holding the javelin. I think the most sensible thing just for me to
the javelin is for. I guess it's for sticking or for throwing, but given that it's on top of you, it would be a little bit awkward. You can try it,
or I could bite.
I think you can bite with 0 penalty, but anything else is going to be a bit of a penalty for the awkwardness.
I think given it's put its hand in my mouth.
Yeah, right.
Again, things putting their hands in my mouth. Don't do that.
Yeah, not a good time.
I'm going to bite it then.
That's a target of 10 for you, I think, isn't it, for biting?
Yeah. And I rolled 13. So I hit, and then... and I did 3 damage.
3 damage. It's... So its hand and wrist kind of give way almost completely between your bite, and essentially its hand is just hanging off the end of its arm now. The other hand is pressing down on top of you, but it's nowhere near as kind of threatening an action. You know what I mean? So you definitely feel like you're getting somewhere, but the creature is still gibbering and thrashing on top of you fairly enthusiastically. Riston.
I will take a shot with my crossbow.
Absolutely. Go ahead. No changes or penalties. Is Poltroon capering at this point? I'd say so. Poltroon is kind of splashing happily among the blood on the floor and is kind of going, "It's been raining."
God. Amazing. Well, I rolled a 14 before bonuses and whatnot, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I will now, because Riston is ticked off with this, so he will have aimed carefully, and using an omen, I will do maximum damage.
Okay, fair enough. And what is your maximum damage for this?
8 for the crossbow.
Yeah. Your crossbow bolt slams into the back of the creature's skull, and Torval, it just kind of face plants on top of you, with maybe the tip of the bolt kind of scratching your forehead unpleasantly.
I sort of push it off. That was my kill. I had it handled.
Well, you can buy me some more bolts then.
I pull out the bolt of its head. I'm going to roll a d6.
Yeah, see if you can grab the bolt. Yeah, that's fine.
No, I pull it out and snap it.
Yeah, you get what you get is a short stick with some brains on the end of it. Don't.
I gesticulate it with
Don't.
it.
Don't.
Okay.
So the room that you open the door on, as you might imagine, has the floor, the walls, and the ceiling entirely coated in dripping, sticky blood. The only kind of other thing notable is on the inside, on one wall, the wall directly ahead of you, there are terrible inscriptions that you can kind of see revealing themselves as the blood kind of slowly shears down the wall and off. They are inscriptions depicting what seems to be a flayed corpse wearing a silver crown.
Does that ring any bells? I'll look to Harmug.
Not that I know of. Doesn't sound like a creature she was hunting, does it?
A silver crown, you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's an inscription. You can't take the silver crown. Torval can't read, but he can understand the difference between a picture of something and the thing.
Sorry, I missed that. I was briefly distracted.
It's all right. As much as I like the idea of Torval being like, can't pick up, like, I think he's a bit beyond that.
Yeah.
Are we moving on from this room? It doesn't have doors leading anywhere or anything like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Do we have any particular plans of a way to go? Are we carrying on down this corridor that the beast was on, or where are we going? Just pick a direction, I guess.
I suppose that sound. If we, I'm
try and
kind of
follow the
wondering.
sound.
Kind of wondering.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. All right then. In that case, you can go off striding down corridors, all of them covered in more flayed skin, all of them decayed and wrecked of this manor house gone to seed. You go kind of down corridors, poke your head into rooms, go upstairs. None of it seems kind of like, I mean, it's remarkable because it's a wrecked manor house covered in flayed skin. But kind of like lots of the room, it's not like you're in a fascinating dungeon. It's mostly just the wreckage of the house. Why doesn't everyone roll check presence for me, and whoever I'm just having like whoever gets the highest success is the person who discovers something.
I got 19.
I got 18 total. Damn it.
Yeah, 12.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, so that's Torval, right? I think.
Yeah.
What we really want is for him to find something. As you're pacing, you've kind of gone up a set of stairs now, and you're on like an upper floor of this manor house where parts of the ceiling have kind of caved in and are open to the swiftly darkening evening sky. And Torval is the first person to hear meaty, familiar, thudding, fast-paced footsteps padding down a nearby corridor, and an even more familiar and unpleasant kind of like odd gibbering noise. It sounds like there's multiple of them.
Is everyone else in the room with me, or am I alone?
Yeah, you're in like a corridor, and you're kind of with the group.
I go over there, and then I ready my javelin.
Sure. I'd say you got the drop on these. So if are you all kind of like leaping around a corner into the corridor where these things are together?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm last to do it.
And you feel like you've genuinely got the drop on them this time. You reel around the corridor and you see that there are 4 of the flayed undead creatures ahead of you in that corridor, kind of like padding around desperately and flicking their heads around, maybe trying to get a scent or something. As soon as you turn around the corridor, they howl in semi-unison and kind of like start diving towards you. So, initiatives, please. But you guys definitely go first in this one, I think. And like I say, there are 4 of them. So,
Are there any stats
Bloody
I
hell,
should look
Steve.
up for javelin?
no, it is a unique item. Just tell me when you use it.
Okay.
It'll probably just explode.
Well,
Torval's going to cover it in poison and put it in his bag.
Strap it to a rat.
don't be silly. Rats couldn't carry such a thing.
Depends how many rats, surely.
Oh, like 6 rats all the way along it.
Absolutely. Cool. So it looks like, is that Riston first? That's Riston first. I'm assuming a crossbow bolt is coming in the way of one of them.
Yep. Is Poltroon capering?
I think Poltroon is capering. He's perhaps kind of going, a firing line, a firing line.
Well, that's an easy hit. I roll a 19.
Okay, give me that damage.
I've only got 1 more omen, and I'm going to save that. So I rolled a 6 damage.
That is very nice. Your bolt flies out and crashes into the one sternum. You hear the kind of sickly crunch of rib cage collapsing. The thing is staggering forwards, but it very much looks like it's on its last legs. Torval.
I am going to aim this javelin at one of them, and
The same one that Riston has grievously wounded, or a different one?
a different one, I think.
Okay.
And then I will throw the javelin.
Yeah, give me a presence roll. Don't forget to take the buff from Poltroon.
Yep. 11 plus 3 plus 2. So yeah, yes. I hit.
Cool. That's a d6 damage.
Okay. That is 6.
Nice. The javelin slices kind of very cleanly through the chest of one of them and kind of emerges on the other side and is dangling like on the floor on the other side with just the end of the handle of the javelin tipping up. The flayed zombies kind of reeling around and still kind of coming forward, but again looks very grievously wounded. If you feel this is underwhelming for the special item I've given you, just critical or fumble with it. That's all I'm saying. Dog. Hound.
Yes.
Hound dog.
Yes. Hound. Oh wow. Hound got 17. So yeah, hits and
Is
did
it going
4
for
damage.
maybe the same one as your target?
Yeah.
Well, this zombie that's kind of staggering around with the javelin kind of full through its chest. Burke kind of scampers up, leaps up in the air, just savages it by the throat and brings it crashing down to the ground. It's rolling around in a kind of death roll with the thing, but this flayed creature is already dead by the time it's hit the ground, really. So that's one down. Von.
I'm going to swing for the one with Riston's crossbow bolt in it.
Mm-hmm.
I hit. Wait. Yes, I hit, and that's 3 damage.
Okay. You stride forward and with a practiced thrust, that's the kind of thing you can get away with on a charging, ravening zombie, but a true swordsman would easily batter aside and probably strike you a deadly blow. Not that you know or would definitely ever admit such a thing. You impale the zombie, and it's just thrashing briefly on the end of your Zweihander before you tip it off with a disgusted crinkle of your well-perfumed brow. Harmug, there's two that remain still coming.
Yeah, I shall shoot one of them.
Get the buff.
Mm-hmm. I definitely do not hit.
Okay, that bolt goes wild. In which case, we have 2 zombies still coming from the group, and I think it's safe to say that Von is a little further ahead than anyone else, so I'll give him more of a chance for them to come at him. And that is 1 on Von and the other one on Riston. So they're going to charge forward. Please both roll a defense, and don't forget the buff from Poltroon.
That's a success.
Success. And Riston?
You're on mute.
I rolled a 15, so yes, success. That was before bonuses.
Yeah, these creatures are definitely fearsome, intimidating, and really horrible. But their flailing limbs are quite easy to avoid, and you manage to do so as they sort of gibber and flail at you. We're back around to your turns again. So, Riston, I take it you're hitting the one next to you. Attack.
Yes.
in the
Well,
head.
seeing as it's right by me, I'll have to switch to my hammer, I think.
Absolutely.
Um,
Don't forget your buff.
Yes, I hit. So I rolled a 17. And this is a d6 of damage on my trusty hammer. I got a 5.
Well, that's better than the last couple
That's
of times.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, as it thrashes around in front of you, you sort of dodge aside, wait for your moment, and just kind of like, as you've done so many times before, probably to sleeping people in taverns who owed you money, you just boom, directly crunch in the middle of its forehead with your hammer, which, as we've said before, is just a straight up hammer. It's not like a war hammer or anything. You feel like it sinks softly underneath the flesh and skin and kind of whip it out. And where a normal human would now tip over to the side, maybe say something very incoherent and then slowly pass away. This flayed thing definitely keeps going, but you have the sense that, you've hurt it quite a bit. Torval.
I think I'll go for that same one. And
With your
I
crossbow?
was thinking of going into melee and trying to bite it.
You get bitey boy.
Yeah, I've got my teeth.
Okay, so that's a target of 8 with the...
Yeah, so I got 60. Yeah, I got 16. So I got 8 loads, and the damage was 2.
That is enough. You leap onto the one attacking Riston and gnaw furiously at its throat until it gives way in a welter of fluids and matter, and it collapses to the ground. There's one left, and it is Von. And it's fighting you as well, so that's appropriate.
Oh, that is not a hit.
Okay. Yeah, this thing's closed. The fault with Zweihanders, it's got in too close with no regard for its own personal safety. And your swing goes wide. Harmug.
Guess I'll shoot that one then. Oh, that's a 2. I'm not going to spend it over. We're not that worried about one of them.
This is going to
That's
be
fair
great when this thing total party kills us.
Just TPKs. Yeah. Well, we are on to... Is this round 2 or 3 now? I can't remember.
I think it's round 3.
It
I
must be
think so,
around
yeah.
3, yeah.
Because I've thrown a javelin and bitten. So
Yeah. Okay. Von, roll your defense without a buff, please.
Okay.
As Poltroon's caperings are no longer morale-inducing or amusing in any way.
or
That is a
distracting.
fail. So I'll roll my armor.
Okay. Roll your armor, yes, please.
Okay. 2.
Okay. Its fingers have kind of like curled under your gorget or your rough kind of like soft gorget that sort of protects your throat, and one hand is like wrapped around and is crushing your windpipe unpleasantly, pressing down and bruising and breaking various tendons. It really hurts. It's 2 hit points.
Aldrin, save me.
We're back around to the video. Riston.
I will rush over and attempt to bury my hammer in this one's head, I think.
Sure. Give me an unmodified attack roll then, please.
And this is strength, isn't it? So yes, this is entirely unmodified for me now. But I roll a 20, natural 20.
Whoa. So that's a critical, right?
It is a critical.
What does a critical do? It's like
Double damage, and armor and protection are reduced 1 tier, if they have any.
They have no armor, so go ahead and give me double your damage then.
6.
Okay. Not bad. Yeah, hammer go thunk into the back of the thing's head, and it's kind of like still kind of holding on to Von, but like kind of sagging down around him, but still applying that pressure around his throat. Torval.
can I try and grab the javelin and stick it in it?
Yeah. Go for it.
I'll try that. Yes, I hit, and the damage was at D6.
It's a D6, yeah. I'm assuming it wasn't a critical.
It wasn't a critical, no.
Okay.
3 was the damage.
Okay. You grab the javelin from the... Are you throwing it, or are you just using it as a spear?
I was, stabbing it. Spearing.
Yeah. You scrape up the javelin from the ground, thrust it into the back of the creature, and with a final sort of noise, it sinks to the ground. It's dead. You're all good. There's no sound of further running feet, which if you were wondering why I roll a die every round. It's a nice little feature I gave them that hasn't worked yet. It's fine.
There is, however, the sound of a horrible, choking, phlegmy, retching, coughing. Is probably getting tobacco stained spittle over everyone.
Absolutely. As you three are kind of clustered together, and Harmug is stood a little aside, and as you're standing there, a low voice next to you says, "You better stop missing. If he's hurt, I'll hurt you worse."
I don't move whatsoever or react at all.
God, it's Toltrain.
So, you're just in what is effectively a kind of anonymous corridor in this manor house. Are we carrying on with our investigations?
Yeah, hunting for the
Sounds
source.
good.
Trying to hunt that sound down, right?
In this grim, dark world of MÖRK BORG, I actually got a crossbow bolt back.
Hey, there we go. All right, give me those presence rolls again to see who locates the next incident on this path.
I got
18.
20 in total.
I guess I'm saying test for presence, but it should be just roll a d20 and tell me who got the highest, really, shouldn't it? Because otherwise it doesn't really work. Sounds like Harmug then, unless anyone else gets a...
I only got a 12.
Nope.
Okay. So, Harmug, you are walking down one of the many corridors in this place with your companions, and as you're walking down, you see another hallway stretching off to your right, and a kind of faint glittering gains your attention. And as you turn, you see that there are ungodly yet exquisite chandeliers hanging above this hallway, glittering unpleasantly far out of reach. It definitely looks different, though. It looks, it's clearly this corridor looks different.
Okay, I guess I'll say. Go.
No,
I guess I'll just say to the group, wait. This way, I think, looks kind of interesting. And just kind of wander over that way and take a closer look.
Yeah,
absolutely
Good. Yeah.
Can I take a pause to catch my breath and properly drink some of that wine I stole, and hence recover HP?
Yes, that's fine. You can do that. Harmug, Torval, and Riston, you're in that corridor then. After walking a little bit of the way down it, you can see that there is a fancy table halfway kind of down, up against one wall, halfway down the corridor. It has a small, rather simply carved wooden box on it.
I will go over to the wooden box and I will reach my hand out, and then I will pull back, and I will say, "Harmug, I think it's your turn to open a box."
I'm good. Looks not that interesting to me. It's just wooden. It's probably nothing valuable. I'll be looking at something else.
How about Riston?
I'll go over to it, have a look at it carefully first,
Yeah, absolutely. You can't see any signs of kind of a trap or anything, but if you want to roll presence, you can check it more clearly.
I rolled a 16, and my presence tests are better by 2.
Yeah, you can't see anything untoward about it.
I'll open it.
Inside, resting on a small bit of green cloth, is what looks like a white marble.
I will pick it up.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is the first thing we've opened all day. That's
Just a
not been
marble.
trapped.
It does look nice. Maybe it's precious in some kind. Probably worth tucking away.
Yeah, I'll keep that.
Okay. Von, can you roll presence for me, please?
14.
Is that a success?
Yes.
Okay. You hear a horribly familiar shuffling and heavy breathing sound. It appears to be coming down a corridor behind you, just out of reach of the lantern light.
I raise my Zweihander and shout, "To me, peasants!"
Poltroon starts crying, "To the master! To the king!"
I think Von was saying something about presents.
Oh, God. Shuffling heavily out of the shadows down the corridor, John, is that blood-soaked fur with glittering metal beneath it, blades embedded in hands, a beast like the one below. You register it and ready, and then with a sinking, horrible feeling, you see the bolt stuck in the flesh. You see the gaping rent in its throat and the blackened ichor soaked down its front. It's coming again. Combat, please. And only Von will act in the first round as the others take the time to get back to him.
If we do.
And I'll evens up the thing. Oh, and the creature goes first. Isn't that lovely for you? Isn't that lovely? And regardless, the creature is going first. So once you've got that initiative in place, John, can you please give me a defense roll? And don't forget to take the buff for Poltroon.
That is a pass on the defense.
Okay. One of those bladed, blood-caked fur paws kind of like reaches out for you and scrapes the wall nearby as you manage to deflect with your Zweihander. It leaves great gouged rents in the wall. Can we have the initiative up, please? And but only Von will go this turn regardless. So Von, fighting it?
I'm arrogant. Yeah.
Sure. Don't forget to take your buff.
That is definitely a hit and 4 damage.
4 damage, you say? Well, it's armor. We'll see about that. Okay. Your Zweihander definitely slices through the arm of the creature, but you hear a metallic shriek as it makes contact with those plates between the blood-caked fur. It definitely comes back having drawn blood, but quite how much, you're not entirely sure. And the creature goes again. Roll defense, please, for me, and take your buff.
Oh, that's a fail.
That is a fail.
My armor is 2.
Your armor is 2, huh? Well, then, perhaps it's because, it's you just wounded it, but those claws kind of flash towards you and rake across your light breastplate that you carry. They leave scores of kind of an unpleasant kind of nails on a chalkboard sound, but it does not penetrate your armor. A thing you are very glad about. So we're back round to the actual character's turn. So Riston, it's you first.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll fire at it, aim and shoot the crossbow again.
Sure. Everyone's tracking their bolts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have too many. So with the various bonuses that I do hit, I rolled a 10, but I was aiming
What's
for
the
DR8.
damage?
The damage is 4.
Your crossbow bolt rebounds off the creature's plating and embeds into a nearby wall.
Ouch.
And next, Von again.
Yes.
You're still fine.
Oh, I miss. I whiff it.
You whiff it. Clearly taken aback by nearly being rent open by this creature, your Zweihander stroke goes wild. Torval.
I think I'm going to try and jab it with my javelin.
Okay. As in throw your javelin.
No, I was thinking of trying
Just
to
stabbing it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
so
like
it's a strength roll rather than... Yeah, don't forget the buff.
Yep. 16 plus 3, so 19. So yeah, it hits. The damage is 4.
D6. It's 4. Okay. Again, your javelin definitely penetrates and kind of either hits some gristle or perhaps where the metal meets the flesh, and you work it around slightly to try and get it out. The creature gives a kind of like "Ugh" noise. Again, you've hurt it, but you're just not sure how much. Dog. Good dog.
Burke rolled a 10. Does that hit? DR10, yes. So just hits and rolls 6 damage, which is his maximum damage. So Burke is
nice.
going crazy.
Yeah, the dog kind of leaps onto the beast's back and is just kind of like savaging furiously at the nape of the beast's neck, and it's giving a kind of low moaning sound and trying to reach back to get the beast off. But there's definitely more of that horrible viscous black ichor running down its back and onto the floor. Dog do good. Harmug.
Having noticed that this is definitely the same one that we fought earlier, assuming it's obvious to all of us. My first question, is this house made entirely of wood and looks flammable?
The house is not made entirely of wood, but mostly of wood.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some brick and stone as well.
I'm thinking of trying to set it alight with oil.
You know you're in it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know you're in the house.
No, setting the big creature alight with oil. I'm worried about how likely it is to set the house on fire.
Right.
We're not going full.
I was trying to
Call of Cthulhu
gauge
just yet.
how stupid an idea that is, basically. Because if it keeps
I
coming
mean, the
back,
creature is also a great deal of it is metal.
yeah, it's true. Well, it's an undead sort of thing. We're not having any luck with just hitting it. I wanted to try something different.
So
Maybe-
what you do.
Yeah,
Does it seem like a really bad idea in this house? Is what I'm asking.
The house could easily become a raging conflagration. Yes.
Okay, I won't do it then.
Maybe we can burn it if we get it down again.
Probably just shoot it. Yeah. So it's definitely a fail. Oh, I got loads of omens. I think I might use an omen for a reroll. Yeah, not worth it.
Okay.
Wow.
So it gets one more go again, and it's going to attack probably. It's going to attack someone who hurt it last round, which I think is anyone but Harmug. So, including the dog. So, it's going to just strike out for Von again, turns out. So, can you roll a defense, please, Von? And don't forget, you don't get the buff this time.
That is, yes, 14, so success.
Okay, perhaps because Burke is still writhing around on its back, sinking his fangs in. He does not. The beast does not manage to hurt you in any way whatsoever. So, a background. It's the beginning of the round. Riston. You are mute.
Yes. Yeah, another crossbow bolt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a miss. I rolled a 4. There's no way of saving that.
Nope.
So,
Von.
I think I might slightly change tactic.
Okay.
If I can swap weapon,
Mhm.
I'm going to draw a very nice but ordinary-looking dagger, and I'm going to try and stab it with that.
Okay. Oh, this is your fancy dagger, right?
Yes.
Oh, I have a food delivery arriving at my door. Apologies for that, folks. We will go to a short break now. We might come back before 10 minutes are done, so we'll just start when we're finished. We're back. Kind of back. John is still off cam. Sam is just right back. There we go, folks. Sorry about that.
We have returned.
Where's our banner? I cannot see our banner.
I think
they used
that
to the person?
it seems to be. I was able to hide it, but I think John might have to reveal it again.
Okay. Can anyone remember who was next? Because Von had just.
I mean, actually,
it
it's
was
in
me.
private chat, isn't it?
It was. Was it in the middle of Von's attack? Or
Yeah, he was just getting
That was down.
Oh, he was getting his dagger out.
his
Yeah,
small
that's-
dagger to see what would
Sure. I
happen.
can't remember what his dagger does. So that's fine.
Um,
Oh, it looks like he's coming back now.
I think it just always hits and always insta kills whatever it touches.
Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
it's like you stab and you win the game. That's how it works.
Are we talking about my dagger?
Yeah.
So I can't remember if I actually rolled by roll, and then I roll damage, and if the damage is a 1, then it dies instantly of poison.
Oh,
Okay.
wasn't actually kidding.
But is there a downside to it? Otherwise, you would use it all the time.
I seem to remember something about it breaking if I fumble.
Okay.
That's not written down on my sheet, but I will go and check it.
I think that is a general kind of rule for weapons.
Okay.
Maybe, but
I will double check it.
Was it an actual dagger from the book? Was it a
yeah,
hybrid
it's
thing?
like an heirloom from the class.
So wretched
Oh,
royalty
nice.
thing.
Nice.
Well, I do 4 damage, so
Okay.
It does not apply.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
The blade of your ancestor. I can't speak.
No, it's
no, it's the snake skin gift.
The snake
yes.
skin gift. Yeah.
No,
So how much damage do you do?
4.
4. Precisely. Yeah, Von, you step in behind what passes for the creature's guard and trace a line, and it doesn't have to be a terribly deep one, across the creature's chest. You feel the rattle as the blade hits metal and then fur, and with a groan, the creature slumps over to one side and then crashes to the floor. Definitely killed it.
Okay. And this time, we've got to make sure.
You got to dismember it.
Yeah. Is there any... I'm going to stick it with the javelin, actually. I'll see if I can...
Okay, there is a wet funk.
I'm going to swap back to my Zweihander and try and behead it.
Yep, you kind of start carving into what passes for the creature's neck. Every time you strike after going in a certain depth, you hit metal.
Oh no. I think we it's huge, isn't it? It's not
very big, yeah.
Can't easily pick it up.
Oh god, no.
Yeah. There aren't any doors that are like... Is there anywhere we can drag it to? That
you cannot move this thing. It's
way too big. Too heavy.
And way too heavy for the four of you to drag it.
Fuck.
I suspect we may have to put up with this interference.
Yeah. All right. So we have some time. All right. Let's just go.
Let's just go in here and barricade the door for now, eh? It'll take a bit of time. Might be another exit. It's slow.
Can I look at those chandeliers again?
You can.
Because didn't you say they glittered weirdly? There was some...
Yeah, I said they were, I'll use my exact language, ungodly yet exquisite chandeliers glittering unpleasantly. I mean, they're glittering not in a magical fashion, it's just in the lantern light they're made of.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Maybe some kind of precious crystal, and they are glittering in that light.
I was wondering
the
whether
designs on them are unpleasant and heretical.
Nice. Heretical IKEA. Yeah, I was wondering whether there was any similarity between the metal in the creature and the metal in the chandeliers, but that's probably me overthinking.
I think we're chicken in a caging here again.
Yeah.
No, they are just chandeliers. They look slightly precious, but also extremely blasphemous, and they are out of reach.
Let's continue. Let's try and make some distance between us and it. This isn't the creature she was trying to kill, was it? Or is this?
Might be.
Yeah. It could have been, dunno.
Wait. Before I go, I'm going to use one of my doses of black poison, and I'm going to get one of my needles, and I'm going to
attach it to a rat.
No, I'm going to put the poison on the needle, and I'm going to stick it through the creature's eyeball, and hopefully that might blind it.
Absolutely. You reach out under that long, lank, blood-soaked, ichor-soaked fur, kind of fringe over the creature's head, and reach out and press that needle against an eyeball, and it goes tink.
Oh, fuck. So it's a glass eye, or it's metal, maybe.
Don't know.
You
get the feeling you don't really want to remove all those bits of blood-soaked fur and find out what's underneath.
No. Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Okay. Presence rolls, ID20 rolls again, please, for the next step in the chain.
Got a natural 20.
Nice.
A natural 3.
If anyone's worried about timing, by the way, we won't go another hour. We're definitely less than that. We're running a bit longer than we usually do, but not by much. So that was a 20 for Harmug, I believe. So,
yeah.
Harmug, walking down a corridor not too far from there, kind of desperately kind of looking around for any kind of sign of where to go next, other than roughly trying to follow the sound of the screaming that's been going on since you entered this mansion house. You walk past a door that seems to have quite a significant draft coming from underneath it.
Go up to the door, have a listen, maybe poke it slightly ajar.
Mm-hmm. You have a listen. There is nothing but the kind of like you can hear, air flowing, but other than that, you can't hear anything in particular.
Cool. I'll poke it ajar a bit and have a look.
Okay. Inside are the first thing you notice are 7 dead prisoners hung from the ceiling by their feet. None of them are guards you would recognize, and they seem to have been here a long time. They are stiffened and frozen, with the chains binding their feet clinking softly in wind that blows hard from a central circular stone-lined pit in the floor. The only other thing in the room is a bucket and a ladle, both of which are coated with long, dry excrement.
I will just yell back to everyone else, something over here, and then go have a further look in the room, assuming it seems relatively safe.
Sure. There is nothing else to be seen in the room. The prisoners are all naked. The pit you cannot see further than a few feet down into, but is giving out a howling, freezing gust of wind.
Does that gust of freezing wind seem colder than it was outside?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a coin into the pit.
Ding, 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 ding. You don't hear it hit the bottom.
It's definitely a pit.
Is there another exit to the room or something?
Nope. Remember, I didn't say that like the screaming sounded like it was coming from here. It was just a thing you passed that was remarkable compared to the other things.
Okay. And the bodies are definitely dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I will, I can't see anything else in this room. I think I'll continue exploring.
Okay. Is anyone else carrying on? Nothing else being attempted in the room? I'm not saying there is anything else to be attempted in the room. Just
can't think of anything. Nope.
Sure. You proceed onward through the corridors and the stairs of this mansion house. Can we have one final presence roll, please?
28.
I mean, if I had my presence score, 21.
Harmug is really the one leading the way. Perhaps there is something tugging you here, Harmug. Perhaps there is something. Perhaps your gods are dragging you forwards, and you are sensing things that the others can't. Or maybe it's just a long lifetime ill spent has led you to be able to track the sound of someone screaming particularly well. Either way, you now all emerge, led by Harmug, at the center of the manor house. You come out on a wooden balcony, kind of like overlooking this. There's a crash of rubble to one side of the balcony that will lead you quite smoothly down to the center of it. A huge room is here, with a mostly collapsed ceiling open to a sky now strewn with coldly blinking stars. There is a roaring bonfire in the middle of the vast chamber, and shadows that should not be flicker madly across the rotting wood paneling of the floor and walls. Near the bonfire is a huge, elaborately filigreed silver birdcage, in which is the cramped form of Lady Grin. It is her voice you have heard shrieking in agony, though there is no visible sign of her torment. The beast stands near the cage, reaching in and prodding her gently with its bladed claws. It seems satisfied with something it can perceive and nods gently to itself before reaching in, taking a fistful of Lady Grin's skin at the nape of her neck and twisting, then pulling hard. Like a poor tavern magician dragging a tablecloth and leaving the plates intact, all of the woman's skin is dragged from her form in one sharp tug, slathering the base of the birdcage and the floor underneath with ripped hunting leathers and gore. Her last shriek fades away before being replaced with a ravenous, bloodthirsty cry. The beast opens the cage and she tumbles out, now one of the fearsome, flayed undead. Glinting in the firelight amongst her bloodied clothing is a dagger.
Right.
Has the beast seemed to have noticed our arrival? at this
Not
place?
yet, no.
Okay.
How far away is this dagger?
Pretty far, and it's right next to the beast and the kind of howling remains of Lady Grin.
Right.
I'll be loading my crossbow, I think.
I think
Initiative.
How big is the room? Is it big?
Really big, really, really big.
All
I
right.
still have my invisibility
Like
scroll.
a
I know
great
what I'd be
hall
doing.
kind of size, you know.
Okay. I'm gonna go start skirting the left side of this hall.
Yeah, I was thinking I might skirt the right side. Just kind of not go up the middle. Other people can do that.
Not go past that bonfire casting weird arcane twitching shadows on the wall.
Probably not do that either. That's a good point.
So it sounds like Harmog and Torval are edging round on opposite sides from each other. How about Von and Riston?
So I would be aiming my crossbow at the new flayed creature. A thought has just gone through my head, which is whether my scroll would work on it. And in which case I'm thinking of whether I could get it to attack the beast.
Oh, the remains of Lady Grin, if you could get to fight.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe. Don't know.
It's worth a
You're
shot.
not close enough for it to respond to a scroll. You'd have to be, there's no hanging back and kiting in this game.
Okay, well, I will, I'll guess I'll carefully edge forwards, crossbow raised.
Sure. How about Von?
If Riston is edging forward, I'll go with Riston with my Zweihander out.
Okay. So it sounds like Harmog and Torval are getting a bit of flanking action in, whereas Von and Riston are moving more or less straight forwards. Well, I think you have the drop on them, but there's always a possibility they notice you super quick. So let's have a roll. Oh, they did notice you super quick. So as Harmog and Torval are doing their flanking and Von and Riston are moving forwards, you know what? I'm just going to roll a die to see who fucked up. So striding kind of just close to the bonfire and around the edge, straight towards them, Riston, you're padding with all the stealth and dexterity of the gutterborn scum that you are, and shockingly, the former royalty is not quite as subtle. Von, you step on a shattered, what seems like a very old shattered, partially shattered kind of ceramic plate on the floor, and there is a crunch. The beast lets out a low moan and just kind of slowly turns towards you. The remains of Lady Grin leap forwards, howling and chattering and gibbering. And we are into initiative. Let's roll the final initiative of the game, please, and flash that up when we're good and ready. That initiative, just so everyone knows out there, like Steve's initiative has been like 8, 9, 11, 10 sort of thing. So just so we know that. Von, I'm going to say you take the hit for that equal rolled initiative because you're busy going like looking down at the crunching thing that you've done. So, with that in mind, well, they're going first anyway. So, why don't we sort them out? I think, like, although the beast is definitely more intimidating, I think the remains of Lady Grin are going to be faster. So, let's see what they go for. I cannot see why she would not be attacking Von. In this circumstance, the beast is a bit more measured, but I think she's going to attack Von. And I think I also am going to rule that Poltroon has no time to start his capering within this round because he is like lurking behind us, like, oh shit, before it's all kicked off. So with that in mind, just roll a normal defense, please, for flayed remains of Lady Grin.
Natural 20.
20.
Nice. I believe that is that you can attack back.
Yeah, you get a free
Nice.
attack.
Is that right?
Defense PC gains a free attack. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, why don't you do that then?
So I don't have to. Do I have to roll to hit, or is it like an automatic?
Yes, it's a free attack.
Yeah.
It doesn't say free damage, it says a free attack.
Yeah. Oh, that is a hit, but it's only 1 damage.
It's only 1 damage. The remains of Lady Grim come flying through the air towards you, and with a quick duck, you get out of the way of her grasping hands and kind of like desperately slice through. You leave like a kind of whip of blood splattering across the wall nearby, but you don't think you've sliced deep. But hey, first blood to royalty, and that's the important thing, isn't it? So the beast, on the other hand, I'm going to say probably hasn't noticed Harmug and Torval yet, but I'm just going to roll evens between Riston and Von as to who it's coming for, and it's going to come for Riston, actually. So can you roll a normal defense, please?
Okay. And defense is agility based. I pass, fine, because I've got agility 4. I rolled a 13. There's bonuses on top of that, so yeah, it's fine.
That's fine. With one great sweep of those kind of that bladed paw, it swings over your head, and you manage to kind of duck out of the way. Fairly happy that you did so, as you hear the swish of its claws carving the air. So we're on to our turns now. So Riston, please.
So this beast is right by me.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to attack it. Grab my hammer and attack it.
Hammer it good. So yeah, a normal attack, please.
A normal attack hits. I rolled a 16.
And the damage
Is
don't get your Romans. This is the final fight.
Yeah. I rolled a 3 damage. I'll save the omen for the crossbow, I think.
That hammer just clangs with complete resistance against a plate of metal underneath its blood-caked fur. Harmug, not Riston again. That would be weird.
Right button. No, I think I will shoot them. I was thinking just running it in the dagger, but there's no real value in that if I can't get out because the creature's still alive anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Assuming there's not another exit behind. I mean, if there is,
there's definitely no exit directly out of the mansion house from this room.
Yeah, so I'd have to go back out the way we came, which now is going back past them. So okay, I won't. I'll shoot the thing. I think I'll shoot the creature because that seems scarier.
Sure.
Want to burn another omen?
This is the final fight, so
okay. I'll burn an omen and try roll again. This never worked for me. Yeah, it worked for me. Hey,
yeah.
Worth doing.
And the damage?
Yeah, 2.
And it rolls 2 on armor. So the crossbow bolt rebounds and maybe flicks into that roaring bonfire. Von.
Okay. This is going for the main blade grin. That is a miss.
Okay. She is moving too fast for you, and as she gibbers and howls, you can hear in a corridor leading off this room the wet thudding pace of something running very fast towards this room and making a gibbering sound as it done it. It finally triggered.
Great. Yay.
Exactly at the dramatic moment. That's all good. Torval.
How far away am could I get to the dagger this turn?
Yeah, that would be all you were doing though.
Yeah, I think I will go for it.
Okay.
I'm going to go and try and grab the dagger.
With like a hunched run, you cross the ground near the bonfire and grab that shiny dagger off the mass of gore and ripped clothes underneath the birdcage. It does indeed have a great many names carved in very small letters all over it. What's Burke doing?
Burke is attacking the remains of Lady Grin, I think.
Okay, give me a normal damage roll, then, please.
Burke failed for the first time.
So this round we have dealt a grand total of 1 damage to Lady Grin's remains and nothing else. This bodes well. So Burke just snarls and snaps his jaws near the horrible flayed creature, but does nothing else. And then I believe we are back round to their actions. Poltroon is now capering and singing the ancient war song of Von's people. It sounds a lot like the tune of a very common drinking song in Golden Beck, but Von honestly barely remembers where he came from by now after all the drink and other substances. So for all we know, it's accurate, but whatever. I leave it to the viewer to decide. The creature, I see no reason for them to stop attacking Riston right now. So roll a defense with the Poltroon buff, please, Riston.
Oh, I just make it.
Okay, one of those clawed arms swings over you again. You can smell the reek of blood and decay from that caked fur, now that you are really close enough and being attacked by the thing, it very much looks like that blood-soaked fur is just patches of flesh that the creature has grabbed and grafted onto itself, onto whatever horrible creaking metal underpinning it has. Lady Grin is going to carry on attacking Von, I think. So give yourself a buffed defense roll, please.
Success.
Okay. She snaps out at you but fails. The other zombie is going to kind of pound its way into this chamber now, and I think we'll go for either Von or the dog. So let's see. Goes for the dog. Can you roll a defense roll for the dog, please?
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Then roll an attack for the dog.
Okay. It rolled only 8, so I don't think it hits.
Okay. So now the zombie kind of goes for the dog, but doesn't manage to get his hands on it. But a bit of back and forth between them. There we go. Right, back round to our attacks then. Riston, what are you doing? And don't forget you're buffed.
Yeah, so I'm kind of close to this thing. Can I get away and draw my crossbow, or am I kind of stuck in melee with?
Let's be realistic about this and not treat it like a game. I don't think you can run away and draw your crossbow and fire without being decapitated.
No, that is fair. Then yes, I will attack with my hammer.
You can try and just run for it. That might work, but
maybe in a bit. Yeah, that'll be a hit. Okay. And 3 damage again.
Well, it rolled low on its armor, so that's something. Your hammer flashes out and you feel like it cracks onto metal again, and you let out a curse. But then a small actual chunk of what looks like metal sheeting kind of drops onto the ground underneath it. The beast doesn't seem to notice in any way. But hey, you cracked something underneath there. So good for you. Harmug.
So hopeful. I think I'll shoot the creature again, because that seems to be the one to worry about.
Sure. Don't forget your buff.
With the buff and the presence bonus, that just about does it with an 8. Nice.
Hey, on your damage.
5, that's all right.
It's respectable. Your bolt hits home. There's a creaking sound of kind of metal, like maybe 2 metal plates parting under the pressure of it. And the creature definitely gives that a kind of low moan and sort of flicks its eyes over to near where you are. So clearly, maybe you did something. if only to get its attention.
Oh no.
Von.
I'm try and have another go at these remains. That's a miss.
Okay. Even with the buff?
Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Okay. Von's definitely lost his mojo at this point, and the remains of Lady Grin are circling him, smelling blood in the water. Torval.
I think I'll try and approach it with my shield and use the javelin as a spear again against these large
the
creature.
Beast, the beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beast.
Give an attack with the buff, please.
That hits, and it was D6, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 damage.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, you stick that blade in the creature's back, and clearly it feels under assault now. It's kind of whipping around with its blade-like sharpened metal claws, and that low moaning is rising to a kind of like odd bellowing with occasional pauses for those weird, heavy breaths that it gives. But yeah, you've got it a little bit on the ropes here. Is dog attacking the extra zombie?
Yeah, I think so. That makes sense.
Yeah, go for it.
Burke misses again. It was a narrow miss.
Okay, we're on to the third round now, which means because we didn't get in the first round, we still have Poltroon's buffs in play. Let's start with the beast, and I think the beast might have its attention shifted a little bit right now. It's not going to go for Harmug because he's a bit further away, but I'm going to roll for whether it goes for Torval or Riston. And it is still going for Riston.
Okay.
But this time... this time I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to... Well, that roll was for that. Okay, so it's going for Riston. So, Torval, as it's swiping towards Riston, and feel free to roll a buffed defense on that, it's going to turn around and fix Torval with that glittering gaze again. So, Torval, please test your presence at 10.
Yeah, so I'm going to attempt to raise my shield. And yes, I passed that. So
Okay.
I'm
You've done a
imagining
kind you've done like a Perseus,
Perseus,
Perseus and the shield.
Although it's unfortunately not reflective. So
No, it's dull and old and copper. How did your defense roll go, Riston?
I think I was fine there because so I get boosts for agility, and there's Poltroon, and my agility is 4. So, and I rolled a 9. So yeah.
Excellent. Those claws swing wildly over you. Could you roll a buff defense for defending off the remains of Lady Grin, please, Von?
That's a miss.
Okay, give me an
I
armor
rolled
roll then,
2.
please.
Okay. 1.
Okay. Lady Grin reaches out and kind of grasps at the side of your head, and you almost get away before she gets a handful of hair and your ear, which she yanks on bodily, and you feel something tearing and giving. Her hand comes away with a chunk of flesh in it and a great handful of bloodied hair. You feel that part of your scalp has sloughed away, and you can feel something too heavy for your liking wetly slapping against the side of your chin. Two hit points things of damage, please. As your ear is slightly dangling off your head.
I full-on Mick
got a
Foley'd
needle
it.
and thread in that medical pack, Harmug.
Depends how much silver is being offered.
Well, Torval has needles.
True. Torval has the needles.
You don't want to touch my needles.
Luckily, I have my own medical kit and a fully qualified jester who did this to me. So, I think it's fine.
I like that you're referring it as doing that to you. That is
It's like botch job.
Yeah. How are your HP looking, Bon, at the moment?
I'm only on 6 out of 8 because I sat down and recovered earlier.
That's fine. And can you roll a defense for the dog, please, Torval?
Yeah. That's 13. So does that defends with DR12? So yes. That passes.
Yes. Cool. So that's still a kind of standoff. Okay. We're back to your attacks now, and this is the last time you'll get Poltron's buff. So, Riston.
Okay. Here we go. Another hammer attack. Hopefully aiming for a weak point that's developing. That is easily a hit. I rolled an 18 before buffs and whatnot.
Okay. And what's the damage?
I think I'm going to use my final omen and do 6 points of damage.
So that's 6 points of damage. Okay. The creature, having failed to petrify Torval, like rears round towards you, and as it does so, quicker than it expects, you lash out with that hammer. It slams into the side of the creature's head. You hear a crack and a tinkling noise, and one of those eyes goes out. It rears backwards with a breathy bellow, topples a few steps, and then collapses back into the bonfire. The bonfire reacts by essentially exploding, scattering flames, chunks of wood and coal all around the place. The two flayed undead creatures collapse as if their wires have been cut from them into wet piles on the floor. The mansion house responds to being scattered with flaming debris, not well, and starts to erupt into considerable flames around you. Gentlemen, it might be time to retreat.
You got the knife, Torval?
I got the knife. Let's fuck
Go.
off.
Job done.
In that case, our kind of figurative camera can pan backwards from the remains of this mansion house, now consumed in a vast conflagration that is also spreading to the trees nearby, as 5 figures accompanied by a donkey, a horse, and a dog hastily make their way away from this horrible place, back towards the main northern road of Treyland, then on to Galgenbeck, and presumably to handing that dagger over in due course to the fearsome intendant. And there we go. That is the end of the Condemned, I think. So, well done to the players here. I feel like I should have ratcheted up the danger a bit there at some point. I don't know. It was pure luck. Like, that beast could have done real. It definitely. What's your HP, Riston?
Mine, I looked out on leveling, so mine was 10, but only 10. It was still 10.
Yeah. It definitely could have killed you in a couple of hits. And probably, if any, what's everyone else's HP, just out of pure interest?
8.
5.
At this point, it's 8.
Yeah, it could have one-shot any of the others. So, yeah, it was a bit of luck. But, when we come back to Mortborg for the third time, I'll remember that. So there we go, folks.
It seems like the leveling and the new kit made a difference in that fight.
The leveling can be chunky, can't it? It really can. So I think we can do away with that initiative now. If you've got any comments or questions, please sling them into the chat. In the meantime, let's wrap up with our little bit of promo. If you look down below, there's a bunch of links. There's links to YouTube and Twitch. You're watching on one. Please check us out on the other and give us follows and subscribes and likes and etc. etc. We'd thoroughly appreciate it. There's also links to our social media, our Patreon, and our Discord. Those all do what you might expect. Our Discord is a lovely little place where we have a nice little community going. Please join there if you want to chat about telling tales or all things TTRPG. We're currently running 3 weekly shows, one on Mondays, run by Sam down there, which is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. We also run Into the Odd on Wednesdays, which is an interim to our ongoing Symbaroum campaign. And Thursdays is me running Cincinnati Chronicles, which is a World of Darkness anthology series that I'm very, very proud of. We're currently running Wraith the Oblivion on that. We run one-shots once a month. That's what this is. We've run a bunch of others before. Alien, Troika, Honey Heist. I always list the same ones when we do it. Wander Home. I can't remember any others that we've done, even though there've been loads.
Death in Space.
Death in Space. The thing that he just said that I talked over.
Tales from the Loop.
Tales from the Loop. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one. There we go. Yeah, check them out on YouTube. They're all still on there. Have fun with that. As for what's coming next month, we have no idea yet. So that'll be fun. to sort out, but there should be one. Yeah, we'll have one in July. Thank you for attending, anyone who participated in the giveaway. Scotty, this will be coming in your direction. I've seen that you've DM'd me on Discord, so that's all good. Yeah, I think that's it. So do you want to throw comments and questions up, John, and we'll run through them? Don't Cook Food, hello. Matt is always railroading away from the extreme cannibalism. What can I say?
He could see the look in my eye when he gave me that bit of brain on a stick.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no.
Yeah. Well, there was going to be more cannibalism in this story, but you didn't choose to do a thing that would have led you to some cannibalism. So.
Do you mean eating people? We didn't choose cannibalism.
No. There was going to be external cannibalism, but you didn't.
Okay.
Well, it could have been your cannibalism as well. But...
In that church?
No.
Oh.
There's something in the house, I'm guessing.
Nope.
It was the cult that we had to follow the cage cult.
Nope.
We'll never guess it.
Curses.
Googling the achievement.
I wanted to.
How do I do that?
Got 100% this.
Oh, was it at the party? Was one of the things at the party cannibalism?
No.
It seemed like the sort of place where cannibalism might happen.
I really wanted to lure that beast into that well at some point. I was like, damn, that would have been a good way to.
What was the well for? There must have been some reason for that.
It's
I
not a
was
well.
trying to figure out what the well was.
Oh,
for.
the well with the wind? No,
Yeah.
no reason for it.
What do you mean there was no reason for it?
No reason for it. The room was partially randomly generated and then padded out by my imagination. And just don't go down that well.
It definitely had don't
horrible
go down
well into the
well.
ground through which frozen air comes at a tremendous rate. Just don't.
I guess
don't worry
we succeeded at that. Go team.
We're learning.
Absolutely.
I feel like I remember the last Mort Borg session. I also was the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, Torval is definitely the canary of the group there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't say Torval is the canary so much as Pierre chooses to make Torval the current canary.
It's also all of the other characters because we all just hesitate and go like, I don't know about this, and then Torval's like,
Torval's like, I'll open it. Boom. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like-
until there was that last box though. You have to wait. It's like 2 traps. The third one's going to be fine.
Yeah.
True.
One thing I was a bit dissatisfied with in this particular one shot was I didn't feel we really moved the arc of Poltroon forward. But maybe that's something for next time.
We'll see.
I was pleased with how that came out, though. Actually,
Well, there's the third or the second zine, the third Mort Borg book.
yeah, that was what I was going to do: is use Heretic as a base for a third one if we roll our third one. But we've got Cyborg to do as well, which has dropped its PDF. So I'm looking forward to giving that a spin.
Nice.
What else we got, John?
We've got this, which is it was in relation to a thing and is also in the thing further down below. I'm really good at this streamer thing. It's in the about box.
Discord.
on
Join our
social
Discord.
media.
Yes. Join our
But we've had a couple of people join during the stream, and it would be great to see some more people because.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, we've had some extra follow. I did go through a lot of the followers earlier, but we've also had Shattergat the Black followers since I did that follower list, which is nice. It's not usual we have further followers since I read out a follower list. So there we go. What else we got, John? Anything else? Or are we there? Because we did some of them earlier, didn't we? When Sam was off.
Yep.
That's everything since.
It's everything since then.
I think everything notable since the break.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that. Thanks to my wonderful players here. Well done to the winner of our giveaway. And we'll see you through the week for our regular series. And then next month sometime for another one-shot, which we don't know what it is. Who knows? It could be anything. What's your favorite system? It's definitely that. Don't think about it. Don't do the research. Just turn up and it'll definitely be your favorite system.
Join our Discord and tell us what we should do.
Yeah, do that.
We might not
we'll
listen,
probably say no, but still, whatever. Cool. All right. Take care and stay safe out there, everyone. Try not to get Mort Borged. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.